Hey class, so for this video, I'm going to run through the 6 strategies for reading a poem, and we will take a look at one of Poe's poems called The Bells. So here's a rundown of the 6 strategies. First, you want to read through the poem in its entirety without stopping, whether you understand it or not. More on that in a minute. Then you will once again read the poem aloud the second time. Read word by word after reading to get the whole idea. Then you want to read it once again for the imagery in the poem. Then you want to read for the organization and read for technique. So the first step then is to read through the poem without stopping, whether you understand it or not. So the problems most people have with poetry, especially with modern poetry, come from thinking they must understand the poem right away in its entirety. They puzzle over words, syntax, and allusions. So maybe the poet has made a biblical reference, maybe another reference to a previous work of literature. And when that happens, sometimes people give up and conclude that, as they expected, poetry isn't for me, I don't get it. So the essence of a poem is in its whole, and often poets will be giving you only hints, right? Hints as to the poem's meaning, which will become clearer further along or when we reread it with the ending in mind. So as you probably know, poetry is very abstract, right? And it's up to us to apply our prior knowledge, that schema that I was talking about earlier, right? We all have a schema inside our brains, and that schema is like a computer chip that holds all of the information that we know about a certain topic. Okay, so for this first one, I found a recording, and I just want us to listen to it. Let me pull that up. So just listen as this poem is being read by what I guess we'll call a professional.
The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells. How they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time, time, in a sort of runic rhyme, to the tintinnabulation that so musically wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight. From the molten golden notes, all in tune, what a liquid ditty floats to the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminously swells, how it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the swinging and the ringing of the bells, 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 of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and the chiming of the bells. Hear the loud alarum bells, brazen bells. What a tale of terror now their turbulence it tells. In the startled ear of night, how they scream out their affright. Too much horrified to speak, they can only shriek, shriek out of tune, in the clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation with the deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, 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 with a desperate desire and a resolute endeavor, now to sit or never, by the side of the pale-faced moon. Oh, the bells, 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 what a tale their terror tells of despair. How they clang and clash and roar, what a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. Yet the ear it fully knows, by the twanging and the clanging, how the danger ebbs and flows. Yet the ear distinctly tells, in the jangling and the wrangling, how the danger sinks and swells. By the sinking or the swelling, in the anger of the bells, of the bells, 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 the clamour and the clangour of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright at the melancholy meaning of their tone. For every sound that floats from the breast within their throats is a groan. And the people, the people, they that dwell up in the steeple all alone, and who, tolling, 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 in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart a stone. They are neither man nor woman, they are neither brute nor human, they are ghouls, and their king it is who tolls, and he rolls, 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 rolls a paean from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with the paean of the bells, and he dances and he yells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the paean of the bells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells, 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 to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, 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 as he knells, 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 in a happy runic rhyme to the rolling of the bells, 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 to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the moaning and the groaning of the bells.